Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler.
It may be more than 5, by the way.
It may be more than 5. It may be more than 500. I don't know what the limit is on our video time, but we may blow it away. In fact, we've decided we're not even going to do X's and O's. We have too much to talk about.
It's too painful to even draw it up.
There's too many things. You know, there's too many plays to draw up, and we're going to cover just about every bad play in this edition.
And we both got on black because it was a funeral. Seems that way. Tom, this one here rates up there one of the worst losses since I've been around the Packers, since 1990. This is up there.
All right, we were just talking about that off camera. We were talking about what was the worst Packers loss in the modern era. And let's go through them.
Okay.
T.O. touchdown.
And see, that's the thing about it. That was to extend our playoff, keep playing the playoff. I think we would have played Atlanta or something. And the game
it was a wild card game.
It was in your hand.
Yeah.
And if you had to do it all over again, I'd run the same coverage, same everything. I'd just be more aggressive. But it's a shocker, especially to our fans. Yeah. So I went through that. So I know what these guys are going through.
I think the hard part about that was the team had just gotten over all the injuries and was starting to play like a Super Bowl team again.
Right.
I mean, you'd have had to beat Minnesota, which was playing really good. But anyway, then we got 4th and 26.
Oh. That was like drinking Drano. Because you're thinking, there's no way they can get up first time.
Yeah.
There's no way. And I know some other circumstances to Favre's interception.
There was Favre's interception. There was the 4th and 1 that Sherman should have gone for.
But the 4th and 26 as a defender. Because this last game had a 3rd and 19 was equivalent to that.
Right.
So that was tough too.
Okay.
You got any more?
Yeah, there's some others. You know, the Super Bowl loss. 32, but Super Bowl 32. But that wasn't, you know, you can't argue that that's a game you absolutely should have won. You know, it was a close game. It was a game
double-digit favors. I mean.
Yeah, it's a game you blew, but Denver, you gotta.
Yeah.
They weren't outplayed like Seattle and Philadelphia were outplayed.
We didn't give them a lot, so they actually played pretty good. They were very well coached.
I think the Giants game, the NFC Championship.
Yeah, because you're at home. And I think the Super Bowl would have been in Arizona like it was this year. And Favre's interception, I mean.
Well, there's so many plays in that game.
It's a bunch of plays in that particular game. Yeah. The 15-1 season when the Giants came in at home.
The Hail Mary in that game.
Yeah, that's just kind of a head scratcher.
And even last year, the San Francisco game here, you know, Micah Hyde has a chance to end it with that interception, and they couldn't score. They couldn't score in the red zone when they got down at the end there, kicked a field goal to tie it, and then San Francisco.
It seemed like, I mean, those are gay Aaron Rodgers. He got to win those games if he has the opportunity. He has to play up to the level, the MVP level. And if you take a snap in the first quarter, no more excuses about injuries.
Right.
You have your brain, you have your arm, you just got to play. And that's why we build champions. And he just did not play well, up to his capabilities. And
on Sunday. He did not play a good game.
No.
They needed him to play out of his, well, actually they didn't need him to play out of his mind. The rest of the team played out of its mind. They needed him to make a couple more plays that, you know, somewhere down the line, they needed him to make some plays.
The interception, you just take away the 2 picks, and I think they win the game. But not only that, you're right, it's just about managing the team and be aggressive when you have time.
Right.
We saw the one play, he could have took off and ran, but he chose not to. But he also scrambled and picked up a first down, so he was capable of doing it. But
so McCarthy has taken a beating for play calling, and we just watched the whole game. We just went over every single play in the whole game. What's your thought on whether he was too conservative or not?
Well, I think for the most part he had some great formations and had some key matchups, but he has to have help, Tom. Somebody in the booth need to let him know that Richard Sherman has a sprained elbow, or it looks like it.
Right.
Somebody has to let him know that Earl Thomas is out the game. Go after the backup safety. Somebody has to let him know a lot of these things. There's a lot of things going on in your head. Somebody has to let him know, listen, we're okay with going with points. So when you get together, you go to the sideline and you talk to your coaches, you know, what's going on. We got to be on the same page. So the field goals in regular season, you can probably go for it. But in playoff championship game, points are always very, very important.
Yeah, especially on the road.
Absolutely.
Those first 2 field goals, I don't have a problem with it. We looked at some of the goal line plays. The John Kuhn play was a physical error. It was one little block by J.C. Tretter, and he's in for a touchdown.
And see, that's the thing. That's their package for J.C. Tretter. But when you go in, you can't be laid off the snap, as he was. And you got to go in there violently. I don't know if he even played more than 5 plays, but don't just go and do your job.
Yeah.
And that's what it came down to. If out of these 10 circumstances, it had to be a perfect storm for Seattle to win this game.
And it was.
And it was.
And it was.
It was a perfect storm. If you said, listen, I need a guy to drop the onside kick, check.
Right.
I need a guy to just leave his man on the field goal, check. And after a while, you just say zero coverage. I want Tremont can you please be outside coverage? Check. So that was mind-boggling. I think the fans don't mind you losing again because it's football.
Right.
But to just give away some of this, that's the painful thing about it.
Yeah, I think, I think McCarthy is being unfairly criticized for the play calling. But the big picture, which he is in charge of, is that they played not to lose, I think, at the end.
Instead of to win.
And then there's just this incredible list of plays, which I've got right here.
Yeah, let's go through them, and I'll let you know in my opinion,
if it's coaching or the players.
I think that's fair.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the 3rd and 19 when Baldwin catches a ball wide open on a eight men in the secondary, 3-man rush.
Right.
Clay Matthews comes up on the guy, lets Baldwin run behind him. Is that coaching or is that player?
That could be a combination. It's a terrible call.
Okay, you don't get to do combination.
I know,
you got to do one or the other.
I'm going to say it's on the player.
Okay.
Because Matthews went up there, got a penalty, okay, for the face mask.
For no reason.
For just trying to be aggressive. But you got to have, on that coverage, you got 3 guys going. You got to have 4 guys at the mid-level and then 3 guys deep.
Okay.
He got to be one of the 4 guys that's back. There's no need to go up there and jam the guy. There's no need to do that.
Right.
Now if he's back, he can see the guy coming all the way over into his zone.
Right.
But when you're up there, you just get out distorted. So I'm going to say I would want Matthews to play that way better.
Okay. On the overtime, the 30-yard pass to Baldwin on the corner route on Casey Hayward. You have a three wide receiver set.
Yes.
Tremont Williams and all on the same side. Tremont Williams and Sam Shields are in bump and run coverage. Perfect bump and run coverage. Casey Hayward opens the gate and lets the guy run by by him.
That's 100% on Casey Hayward. You got to be outside technique, and you got to be aggressive.
How does he not know that?
You got a safety inside of you deep that'll give you inside help, which was Clinton Dix. It's just bad technique.
He opened up and led him to the in.
It's just an easy read for
everything is funneled to the inside, right?
I mean, when you got a middle safety and possible middle help, there's no way that guy should release outside of you. You got to be outside to force him in there.
Right.
I mean, it was just bad, terrible technique. So that's on the player.
Final play, touchdown to Curse. Tremont Williams knows he has one-on-one.
Yeah.
Gives him the inside release.
I don't get that. If it's zero coverage with no middle safety, if that's the call, because they want to try to stop the run.
And
everybody up there to stop the run. He got to be inside. That's 1,000% on Tremont. You have to be inside. It's imperative to be inside because you have no help in the middle. I mean, Russell Wilson gets up there and like, whoa, they vacated the middle. They open up the seam. It's an easy throw for him. But if he's inside, press man-to-man on the inside, now the pressure can get there, and if a guy beats you based on that, but he didn't beat you on alignment, he didn't beat you on assignment. Now execution, he might have beat you on, but alignment, assignment, execution, you got to step up and make these plays, and that's on Tremont.
Okay.
It was a great play call.
The wheel route to Marshawn Lynch on their final drive in regulation, Sam Barrington has him. It's a pick play.
Yeah, to me that's...
He either needs to go underneath
or over
the top, and he went underneath.
And my thing, that's coaching. You have to teach him, as you do all your guys, how do I fight through picks on my man-to-man? You teach your guys to go over the top, down in distance, and play the running back. Marshawn Lynch was wide, so that lets you know he was coming out for a pass. And your film study would say that he's trying to get me on a wheel route. You go over the top from the guy just trying to come in to pick you. If you go underneath, the only way you go underneath, if you can make the play right away, up unless it's a screen.
Okay.
Otherwise, you always go over the top. That's coaching. You have to tell a guy that. And the way he was looking, distorted, like as if no one has ever told him that. So if the coach did tell him that, he didn't get it through to him.
Okay.
So that's on the coaching.
Okay. Then we've got the field goal block, or fake field goal, I'm sorry. And so we're watching that, and A.J. Hawk clearly has to either take the guy or go after the punter. And he makes the wrong choice. He goes after the punter and lets the guy run right behind him.
And I've been telling people all the time, you know, you have to take away the plane, manage the train. A guy running, House and Peppers will run him down, the kicker. You can't just run by a guy just running fast. That's your guy.
Yeah.
It's your guy. It's your guy. So I'm putting that's 100% on A.J. Hawk. You don't never leave your guy to cover for somebody else. It was just such an easy throw. You look at where the down and distance was.
Yeah. No way Ryan runs it.
There's no way he outrun those guys.
House catches him 10 yards before
and
he
we're
gets
going
to
to
the
the
first
Super Bowl.
down.
My thing is, just do your job. And McCarthy yells at all time. Do your job, and we'll win a majority of most games.
But maybe, you know, maybe that is coaching, though. Maybe Slocum's got to say, look, if this is a fake, you got to stay with your guy. Be aware. It could be a fake.
Yeah, he could. That's one thing we always talked about. Watch the fake. And if nobody said that, it's time for a coaching change.
Yeah.
It really has. If you're not getting through to the players, then they need to hear a different voice.
Right.
Because if you told A.J. Hawk over and over and over and over again, you have 72 who's eligible, who had to report, by the way. You know he's eligible. And he run past you and you ignore me, it's time for a new voice.
Right. And so we can go right to the onside kick with Brandon Bostic as well.
Same thing. You get in the huddle. You talk about, you guys are blocking to protect the guys who are going to win the game for us. We're going to the Super Bowl. Bostic, and the rest of you guys, just block, and we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The time to yell at him isn't after it's happened.
No,
It's before,
it's all done.
right?
See, once the spilled milk, you spill the milk. It's spilling while you're yelling. It's spilled. Just get your cat to lick it up. But you didn't get that, did you?
Yeah, I got it.
So my thing is, prevent the spillage by saying move the milk and put it somewhere else so your kid can't spill it.
Right.
Tell him what he's supposed to do, reiterate it, and then if all failed, dude, you're a tight end. Catch the damn ball. I mean, I felt bad for him, but Jordy Nelson is right there ready to get it. So I'm going to put that on the player because you knew your job, you ignored it, and you also dropped the ball. So, I mean, it's so much the coaches can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so much you can do.
But if you know a guy is not the best mentally,
don't put him out there.
Or
don't put
talk
him out
to him
there.
right up till the
or do
moment,
that.
you know.
You could do
this
that.
This is your job. Reiterate. This is your job.
You could do that. Otherwise, why are you even on the team? They got two tight ends that actually hasn't played. If it's not the only time you're out there, you got to know your job.
Right. Right.
For these coaches, I know they got to be pulling their hair out. But as players, once that play snaps, it's on you to make the play. But give me the proper information so I can execute.
Okay. Rodgers' throw to Cobb that's intercepted by Byron Maxwell.
Right.
Obvious, complete miscommunication. Cobb is wide open.
It's wide open.
Who's that on?
It's on Aaron Rodgers. It's wide open. Matter of fact, you got two guys wide open. And matter of fact, the guy who was covering Cobb didn't get the interception.
Right.
Maxwell got it, who was covering Jordy Nelson.
Right.
So I don't know if it's anticipation. I know he wants to get the ball out quick.
Right.
But it's not so much get it out quick, was getting it to my guy.
Right.
And that's on Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Stark's deep route down the sideline. Why are you throwing to him in the first place, but player or coach?
It's on him because he got to make that catch.
Okay.
Rodgers gets out of the pocket, something he hasn't been doing, and throws the ball. That's, to me, looked like a very catchable ball. Starks is known for his hands.
Yeah.
But just to go to the Super Bowl, go up there and catch it.
All right.
Just go up and catch it. It's a touchdown. We're on our way to Arizona.
Okay. Two more. Mike Neal, 3rd and 1 at the goal line, close to the goal line.
Only job is stop Russell Wilson.
And he bites on Marshawn Lynch and
when you draw
Russell
up these
Wilson.
plays, you always draw it up for a certain particular player, or you think it's something that's our best. And you tell Russell Wilson there's a good chance that Mike Neal's going to go down with Marshawn Lynch. Because remember, Marshawn Lynch just had a long run. So that's all in their head.
Yeah.
So it was a good play call by Darrell Bevel. If Mike Neal does his job, going to Arizona.
Right.
Any one of these plays we're talking about. If any one of these plays we're talking about happens,
Yeah.
you're going to the Super Bowl.
No question. No question. And then the last one was the 3rd and 10 on the Packers' last possession, in which they tied the game. We looked at the film, and Aaron Rodgers had about 40 yards of open field in front of him when he threw to Jordy Nelson. I realize he's hurt, and maybe this isn't a player versus coach decision,
Right.
but it is something that
If he was
boggles the
healthy,
mind.
you would think
He
that
would
he
have
would run.
He would have got 20 yards for sure.
But the mentality of where you're at is don't turn the ball over. At least we could tie it with a kick. It's saying, I'm going to go get the first down. I'm going to try to score and win the game.
Right.
As soon as it opened up, he did a great job of stepping up. Look, it was nobody in front of him. Nobody. He could have limped down there for 20 yards and still line back up, because I think it was 26 seconds left, and have a chance to one more throw at the end zone and still could kick a field goal, because it still had timeouts left.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers got to be more aggressive right there.
Yeah. All right, so we need to wrap this up, but here's a couple things to ask you. One, is this potentially devastating for the future? I mean, how does this team regain its confidence and its confidence in its coaching staff after suffering a loss like this, second straight bad playoff loss? Really, third straight, if you go back to the 2012 San Francisco game. Pretty soon they're going to lose confidence in who their coaches are and themselves.
Well, a lot of stuff won't change now that both guys, Ted Thompson and McCarthy, have signed the extensions. A lot of stuff won't change. And you're going to see more of the same. It's just that they got to get football savvy guys to have football awareness, because I think you're going to coach so far. You got to get guys to know what's going on. You have absolutely no speed on the offense. They got to get more speed at the wide receiver. They had no guy that can just run straight down a 4-3 or 4-4, pass Richard Sherman and have a chance with him with a hurt arm. They have, maybe Richard Rodgers is the guy at tight end. Give him an opportunity to find that out. On defense, they got to get more meaner guys who are just nasty, and they just don't have that.
And instinctive. I mean, Morgan Burnett had a great game, but if Sam Shields or Tremont Williams or Highland Clinton Dix picks that ball off, I don't care what Julius Peppers tells them to do.
The
They're
first
running.
thing you do, I was told by Dick Duran, who I respect more than almost anybody, and he said the same thing Ray Rhodes said. If you have the opportunity and lucky enough to get an interception, you always think of scoring.
Yeah. You have to have that mentality.
You always score. Even if it's at the last end, you catch a Hail Mary pass, obviously you get down and you knock it down. That's a different mentality. But when you get an intercept, you think about scoring. And you got to think about the time of possession, how much time on the clock. 5 minutes left. And you got to think about field position. I got to get as many yards as possible. He could have took that all the way down to the 30-yard line. It'd have been a different ballgame.
Packers thought they had the game won at that point.
They thought they had it.
And they totally misjudged that. And really, you know, I think that does come down to football sense and aggressiveness.
Absolutely.
And they're missing in that.
Especially if you ask him, what'd you do different? He said nothing.
Right.
Then they got to change that mentality, saying, no, I should have scored.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
They got to change that mentality.
Yeah, somehow they do have to change. And boy, that's not an easy thing to do.
2015, the word should be aggressive. This year, we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to the Super Bowl, but we're not playing anything close to the vest. It's about aggressiveness, and we're going to the Super Bowl. That's the message. If you hear that message, you're okay doing this offseason. Everything is aggressive. You're going to coach aggressively. You're going to go in the draft aggressively. You're going to do everything aggressive to let people know that we kind of screwed this thing up, but we're going to fix it. And that's why in 1995 we lost to the Cowboys at their place. We came back the next year and won the Super Bowl because we decided we're going to change this thing around, be aggressive, and it worked out for us.
Yeah.
So
there you have it. 2014 is in
it's a bitter pill
in the hopper.
Swallow.
Tough for you, huh?
But it is it's a change from the one and dones. The one and dones was getting tired of that. So going to the championship game seems to be a little bit better.
Yeah. So we may have maybe we'll have a post Super Bowl edition. We'll talk that over and see. You got to get over this though. You know.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to be tough, huh?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us all season long, and we hope you appreciated it and enjoyed it. And sorry we went so long on this one, but it's just too much to watch.
And thank you to my two sponsors, Racine Automotive and Racine, and Victor Car Wash and Racine as well.
And we'll see you down the road.